You know, on some more conspiracy stuff, I'm here talking about robot toys, creating people that look like real human beings, having them walking around. But that's conspiracy talk. I'm not into that. We're talking about what's real right now. What up, y'all? What up, everybody? How's all doing? Hope all is well. And if not, hoping you're back on track sooner than later. So you can act your thing, you know what I mean? John Mustar. Yeah, well, this is part 2 of my discussion, my hip-hop discussion, you know? The hip-hop psyop. Now, this one is, what is real? What does real mean? Being real. It's like, I remember having a specific conversation when I was about 19 years old. I was in Job Corps at the time, right? My man David and stuff. David was like, yeah, smoking. You know we smoking. Because when you smoke, you get on the higher level of discussion. So we smoking in Job Corps and shit. What's real? You know? What is real? And I'm like, real has to be reality. You know? Real? You feel stuff? Your perception of real reality, what is real? Yeah, it has to be real life. You know? But as from that answer, and now I'm grown older, and looking at reality and like all the different things that happen in life and we go through life. You know? And I'm like, yo, there's a small space in between real and fake. Into being reality and now virtual reality. You know what I'm saying? It's a real small window, yo. And technology is so dope, sometimes you can't even tell, you know? And even, and pertaining to hip hop, you know, back in the 90s, when we say real, they're talking about real, authentic people, you know, a stand-up guy, you know, your word is your bond, stuff like that, you know what I mean? Honest, truth. That's real people. You know, no schemers or liars. No tell you one thing and do something else. People that stand up and what they say now, stand on business. Because terminology that means the same get changed for newer generation. Stand on business. You know what I'm saying? You ain't playing no games. You know what I'm talking about? So, what is real? Back in the day, real hip hop. But when I was growing up, those were the terms. A stand-up guy, being honest, being truthful. You know? But where the psyop takes effect now, if you notice, right, the newer generation and the newer rappers, they're dying faster, they're going to jail more, and they're doing football numbers real time, in real life, you know? And their perception of real is doing the crime and rapping about it. You know? It's unfortunate. But remember, your perception is your reality. And what you see is your understanding, and you move by how you feel. But how you feel, is it from your understanding? Or is it projected into your thoughts? You know what I'm saying? Because technology is so dope, you can't get away with crime nowadays. You know? When they're talking about gunshot spotters, you fire a shot and the thing goes up and know pinpoint exactly where it comes from. You know? Cameras in the streets can track your every location, every move throughout the cities. But yeah, right? You hear stories. You see the Trap Raw's videos. You see the news clippings. You know what I'm saying? And I understand taking a risk. I'm saying back in the day, people took risks. Being real. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta stand up. But back in the day, you also move in silence. You wasn't loud about your movements, what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, it's in music. It doesn't get louder than that, because all you gotta do is just turn the volume up. You know what I'm saying? It don't get any louder than that, blowing your spot up by talking about what you're doing. And that's where the psychological operation comes in. And that's what I'm asking. Is hip-hop a psyop? You know, because when we was coming up, and you're looking for influence, you're looking for that energy. Since I'm a positive person, I want something to help me grow and push me in the right direction. You know? And that's one of the reasons I kind of eased back off hip-hop when I was 19, 20. You know, I had my first child at 21. I kind of eased back because I'm growing. And I need information so it can help me grow and find who I am myself. I couldn't listen to all that stuff. As much as I love Mobb Deep, I couldn't continue listening to all of that. Wu, all of these guys. And even when I think about the messages these guys pushed, in our minds, it was positive. In our minds, it's about survival, you know, and getting out the struggle and all of that. But the stories these guys rapped about really painted pictures of the reality that we end up being in, the situations end up living. But if you think about this, right? All the housing projects and all the housing communities that are set up throughout the nation. Now all this coincides, huh? You know what I'm saying? All of this is rolling together in hand. And the question, you know, the other question is the projects, right? When I came to America, I heard it's called the projects. And people call it the projects. Why is it the project? You know? Because it go run hand in hand in this reality, this life. Does the psyop plays in certain inner cities or all the inner cities in general? There's certain thing that goes on that we don't understand what's going on. More conspiracy. I hear they spray stuff in the sky. Because we hear about chemtrails all the time. And in 2025, right, I'm hearing about this thing called smart dust. And they're spraying these things in the air, in the atmosphere, and we are inhaling these things. But there's another conspiracy I don't want to go off because there's a lot of stuff we can get into. But, this is about the hip-hop psyop. But then again, everything is all wrapped up and everything is all involved, You know what I mean? And everybody sounds real, right? And you see these kids doing the crime. It's crazy. Cats is being real and doing their thing. But when I watch the videos, it's just like the Trap Lord video when they talk about these individuals and they're singing and rapping about what they're doing. Now, I believe they're thinking they're being real and being authentic and being real, but that's 100% true. You're being real. But now you're playing in reality and real crimes. And what comes with real crimes? You already know. Real time. So now what's being real? We got to think about this. It's a thin line. You know what I mean? Trying to start. I don't know, it's all about the choices you make and the life you want to live. But how you want to live your life, We all in that boat. We all who have thought and think about life are in that boat, figuring this thing out. You know what I'm saying? So me, I just like to hold the vibe in certain topics. But this one right here, we're going to have multiple parts to it, you know what I mean? Because it is my discussion. And I really think about hip-hop, and it's a psyop. And growing the kids, grab your attention to a certain point in life. You know what I'm saying? Now you're going to fall prey, fall victim, get into the mentality. You know what I'm saying? Or you're going to be real and do the real things you need to survive, get ahead, and don't be in a struggle. You know what I'm saying? It's all on decisions. It's up to you. All on you. What you want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the Benjamins too. Managing situations, the dollars, life. Is what it is, y'all. Let's ask Google, what's real? Google, what's the definition of real?
Here's the definition of real. Actually existing as a thing or occurring in fact, not imagined or supposed.
Real. Reality. Now the psyop, right? Is giving real influence. You know what I'm saying? When it was conscious rap and it was talking about getting information, growing, understanding, and love, people was moving in that direction. That was the energy. You know what I'm saying? That was people was listening and picking up and vibing to. The gangster stuff, I understand. People got energy when they get it off. Frustration, whatever. But the drilling? Now you're putting yourself in a position where you are doing real crime to do real time football numbers. And you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? But that's where we at in these times. The last 15 years. Now, I'm not really paying attention to it as much. Because, I just hear the singles. The big names. I'm not under the underground like that. But I am in these YouTube streets. And the bits and pieces I hear of what's going on. You know? Then I see the videos of the New York drill, Chicago drill, England, the England drill. They got Asian drill. They got African drill. You know, and you know hip hop that took over the whole entire world. You know what I'm saying? So it was almost like it's staring the minds of the people. But at the end of the day, being real with somebody that stand up, and at the same time, you know, is telling people to do their thing too. So it's a gift and a curse. But at the end of the day, too, it's on you and your decision making and choices. Because you know, life is like a chess board. And every day, you have to make moves to put yourself in position. Put yourself in position so you can win. Be winning in a continuous winning motion for this experience and this journey that we're in, you know what I'm saying? And that's being real though. You know? Being honest, truthful. You know, even just dealing with yourself. And if you do that with yourself, you obviously, it's going to trickle down in dealing with people, dealing with life, dealing with decisions and situations you're in and out of. Because life is every day. You live life every day. You know what I'm saying? This journey don't stop until your game is over. And we're in the midst of our game. You know what I'm saying? No more TV. Hey, turn the TV off, right? Who's really watching TV when we got these YouTube streets? But there's so much people in the world. Even if people here in the States turn that TV off, the rest of the world is not. You know what I'm saying? But we are in the Matrix, though. I mean, this mind game, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So being real authentic. That's real hip hop. That's true. Being honest. And it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But just want to have a discussion. This is my hip hop discussion. You know what I'm saying? Is hip hop a psyop? What is real? What's real to you? This is just how I feel. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel? Drop a comment. Let me know. And if you're new to the channel, you already know what to do. I'm gonna grow this thing, man. Now I'm getting the understanding of these YouTube streets. You know what I'm saying? On my other channels, we working it out. Cause the big channel LGETV, I started that by around 2018, but when I was working in the warehouse at the same time, I didn't have time to really look at the research and what it was about, YouTube was about. But one thing though, around that time I discovered Bobby Hammond as well. So while I was on the warehouse working, you know me sneak listening to my, you can't wear headphones on the floor. And I'm like, okay. Pull headphone in. I'm on the forklift and shit watching Bobby Hammond. But that Bobby Hammond videos give you an energy, a certain energy. You know, there's a positive energy going forward in life. Want to grow, want to build, want more information, want to understand. And that's my journey started. And I still didn't fully understand the YouTube and the channels and the pages, but as time goes, you know, reality hit. And all that vibration came. You know, and after 2020, I was like, yo, I'm 40 years old, what we gonna do here? It's either now or never. You know what I'm saying? So by 2021, we was on the mission. Started walking and talking, started looking into YouTube more, understanding videos, you know, formulating my voice, what I'm talking about, what I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but my name is already Conscious Life, you know, CLP. From the beats. Conscious Life. Philosophy. You know, just letting all these thoughts I have, all these vibration that comes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so just started. You know, yeah, one major move I did. 2020, 2021, I left the warehouse. And that move, the biggest move of my life today, I needed more time to understand YouTube stuff. I needed more time to understand my beats, because now I've been making beats for so long. You know what I mean? Started making beats. The idea came about making beats at 16. And I ain't do nothing until about 19. And I got my first keyboard. My concert mate. And then my bigger bro hooked me up with certain, you know, Cubase and then certain things for the computer. Got the Cubase and my journey started making beats. But I'm in reality. Gotta work, got kids to feed, got a baby mama to deal with. And maintain, you know what I'm saying? That's life itself. But that's a journey, man. Never stopped. And with the more time I had, as I started understanding, creating videos, you know, getting comfortable with recording stuff and being on camera and all of that. Gotta get comfortable with all of that, you know. Also my craft of mixing, studying beats, making now, instead of just being on a hip hop producer, now I'm a music producer and making different genres of music, because I always felt different genres anyway. You know, I always felt different genres, but I stuck with the hip hop stuff because that's my beginning, that's where I started from, that's my groundation, that's my influence that gets me into making beats. You know what I mean? But as a person, you grow and you learn, and your influences takes you where you want to go. Sometimes it just go, and me, I just go. I go with it, you know what I mean? For the journey, I'm here for the experience. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So now from 2021, here we are, 2025. You know what I'm saying? We're holding the vibe. Yeah, man. We're here on the podcast. Big up my subs. I appreciate all y'all. You know, we gotta grow this channel though. We gotta grow this channel. It's coming up on 2 years. What is it? July? Some June, July. I gotta look at the date, exact date. But it's coming up on 2 years in this channel. And we got a gang of videos. I know I'm not getting much views. But one thing I am getting though is more comfortable on this video, on this camera thing, you know what I'm saying? But this is my hip hop discussion part 2. You know, the hip hop psyop. What is real? Hey, I'll just say, be honest. You heard what Google said. You know what I mean? Be honest. Tell the truth. That would do wonders for you. You know what I mean? January star. But I'm gonna keep this for a light one. You know? We're gonna have more discussions. You know what I mean? Then we're gonna put it all together. So big up, appreciate the sub, appreciate the views. Thank y'all. All y'all be safe out there. You know, catch up on the next vibration. CFP. Yo. January star. CLP.
Moving along with the genre. Gotta shake the CLP.
Listen to the sound of CLP.